But no, I think the whole thing with like replacing people's jobs and stuff, I think that'll work itself out. I think, remember the whole thing with Andrew Yang back in the day was like with the self-driving trucks, back to what you were saying, Leo, with the all that kind of stuff. I think it all will kind of, I don't know what the hell, like you just said, I really have no clue, but a positive spin on it all would be for the ChatGPT, whatever the hell it's called stuff. The kids in class will go in and write a couple paragraphs using a pen and paper. Other people will go and actually do something fulfilling to themselves and to the world. And that will become the new way of living. Look at me. I already know what I'm talking about. I'm a cat.
No, 100%. While I was focusing a little bit on the negative from just a philosophy conversation perspective, I believe what you believe. And that's where I wanted to land on too, because jobs just changed, right? Like, I mean, though it's happening at an extremely different scale, this is no different from people working in a factory and then all of a sudden there was a machine that did what they did, right?
Well, exactly. And you know, I remember I was thinking about this with my kid. She was 4 or 5. I'm thinking, you know, what's she going to do? You know, thinking about her education in the future. And what was already clear is that automation was just going to change everything. Yeah. So, you know, one of the, she happens to have a creative bent, and who knows how she's 13, who knows what she's going to end up doing. Sure. But the idea being that you know, maybe you should be thinking about, you know, the one thing that the automation can't take, or the people can't take away from you, or the people who are ideating the automation, right? Or or who are creating art using the machines, or that person or that group of people who are, you know, doing that. That sort of could be the goal of a young smart kid, you know.
Yeah. No, certainly. There's a phrase that's been going around on the internet, and who knows how long this is going to be true. But it says AI is not going to replace you. The person using AI as part of their workflow or as part of their tool set.
Well, exactly.
You see.
I mean, it can be scary to people who grew up in an analog world and don't want to understand these things. But once you're sort of in the digital world, I mean, I remember last year before, you know, everybody was talking about the metaverse a year ago. Now it's just gone.
Yeah.
But it was the metaverse, and Jeff was like, "It's a video game. It's a video game." You know, and it's like, "Oh, is that what it is?" Because I keep reading about it. It feels like I'm about to step into the future and not be able to come back.
Yeah. I think that's another thing of like when though, right? I think that's just a technology challenge, right? Because there were bots back in the day, they're in the AIM AOL days, right? But they were like stupid. And it was like, this is a joke. This is ridiculous, right? Because it was just basically like analog, right? Like if Jeff said this, say that, if this, that, but like,
right.
Like, sure, when these glasses are, and it will happen, like when instead of these big Oculus kind of thing, I can just put on my contacts and then be in a virtual world. Maybe we will be working in the metaverse at that point.
Well, and that I think really is right now the barrier to this is that I'm an old man. I'm going to put a big horse's head over my my eyes and walk around and bump into the wall and stuff. You know?
Yeah, I would argue that even the folks that are developing all this don't want to do that. Like you can't be wearing this thing on your head all day long.
Dude, I mean, a pair of glasses, that's another thing, you know.
Yeah.
Well, check this out here. I'm going to derail the whole thing. So I'm thinking the original, the animal intelligence, the AI from back in the Disney, and you're all going to slap me, but there are folk tales and stories about how people used to travel using their minds. Like they wouldn't, like, I'm sure there's people who know way more about this than I do, but I've only been cursory knowledge of this stuff. But way back in the day, you could also smoke stuff and make you kind of get into the other places. But there's breathing techniques and there's all this kind of stuff. And it kind of takes you into like a metaverse type thing. Sure. And so you throw that little Oculus eye thing into your eyeball, and it's another way that your brain is going to be interacting with whatevs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. I think you just made me think of something, so I'm gonna take it in a completely different direction.
Do it, bro.
You know, there's actually a program called Trip. I think it's 2 Ps on Oculus, which is basically focused on meditation, having these psychedelic kind of experiences. And there's a whole world of like digital therapeutics that are been proven and more are being developed to like help people So you don't have to take ayahuasca. You don't have to do, your DMT, LSD trip. You just put on a headset and who knows what happens.
Well, see, that's just another way to experience. Like you just said, that's great. The only reason I'm stumbling so much is because I'm thinking, wow, okay, these a-holes are actually doing something cool.
Yeah.
Smash that like button and subscribe and tell your grandmas and grandpas to do it.